Hey everyone, how's it going? Right, first off, I am ever so sorry about there not being a video up last week. And also, I know I'm a day late with this video. Don't get on my ass. It's only a day. It's not no big deal, really. Only a day late, you know. So this is my monthly thing. The beginning of every month. Hopefully before the first books of the month come out. Luckily the books this week come out on the 4th, and today is the 2nd, so I'm 2 days before it. I'm still above target. Anyway, so basically, this is what I do at the start of every month. I go through these Marvel preview issues, and I tell you the solicits for the month, because Comicstorian does it a lot smarter, where he does like every comic that comes out on that week. I do solely Marvel, because those are the only ones that I pick up, so those are the only ones that my comic book shop can get. Also, CBR, Comic Book Resources, is terrible. It's a terrible website which you can't trust for anything. And yeah, basically it's a terrible website. You can't trust for anything. So I use these because at least it's going to be accurate, and at least I don't get moaned at, because like I said, I'm only telling you the books that are coming out on the month, not on the week. So these are the books that are coming out this month from Marvel. Not from DC, not from Image, not from Valiant, not from anything else, but from Marvel. And for those of you who don't read Marvel comics anymore, you can skip this video entirely, because this is literally just for me solely. Just to remind any of you what's going on this month in Marvel Comics, but solely it's to remind me what's going on this month in Marvel Comics. So yeah. Also, before I get into this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I'm going to go into this in a video later, but I got my first hate comment. Got a first hate comment on my music video, and I'm going to go into it further in probably episode 3 of my comedy show, when I get more comments, or probably when I do the live stream, actually. Probably when I do the 50 subscriber live stream, whenever that is. But you know, I'm gonna do that when I do it. You know, when I get 50 subscribers. But anyway, without further ado, I've been rambling for 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we have Captain America #1, and look at that cover. Say what you will about Ta-Nehisi Coates or Alex Ross or what have you. That cover is amazing, and it's kind of the reason why I've kind of gone off of Alex Ross doing every single cover for every single comic book, because everything that Alex Ross does should be a spectacle. Every panel, every cover, every page, every comic book should be something to put on your wall, should be something to be cherished. And he kind of lost that with the covers that he was doing for Amazing Spider-Man, because he did like over 60 covers for that series, and he must have just been burnt out. And I hope they don't constantly use him for Captain America so that he gets burnt out with that as well. But that cover is just something you want to put up on your wall. So anyway, the title is The title of the comic is It Is Winter in America. Winter in America. Heart to heart, soul to a mission. Sorry, I just watched Rocky 4. I just had that stuck in my head. Winter in America. For over 70 years, he has stood in stalwart defense of our country and its people. But in the aftermath of Hydra's takeover of the nation, Captain America is a figure of controversy carrying a tarnished shield, and a new enemy is rising. Who are the power elite, and how do they intend to co-opt and corrupt the symbol of that is Captain America? Well, hasn't he already been corrupted by Mark Waid and Nick Spencer and Secret Empire and all that? So shouldn't they be working on not corrupting him or de-corrupting him or making him be better? I feel like they've got their I feel like their whole priorities are in the wrong place. Stop sending all your characters to space. Just work on making your most famous characters, the ones that are in all the movies, have the best comics. Because Captain America's been crap for the whole Mark Waid run. Like the first like 3 issues were meh, and like the latest storyline has just been terrible. So I hope Ta-Nehisi Coates knows what he's doing. I hope he doesn't fuck it up like Mark Waid did. Seriously, I'll be watching you like a hawk, Ta-Nehisi Coates. You've won me over with Black Panther. Don't fuck it up with Captain America. Just please. You've got a character that everyone loves. You got a character that everyone loved after a movie that everyone seemed to enjoy, apart from me, because I just thought it was meh, overrated, and you know, it had a villain problem, meaning they didn't give enough time to either of the villains. Killmonger was interesting, but wasn't there for long enough. Claw was interesting, but wasn't there for long enough. They should have had an equal amount of time on screen, and they should have worked together a bit more. But that's beside the point. Amazing Spider-Man both issue 1 and 2 dropped this month. That's cool. That's really cool. And we have a new writer that's not Dan Slott anymore. It's Nick Spencer. You kidding me? Nick Spencer. Well, at least the art looks like a cartoon. I know Spectacular Spider-Man was popular, and I know it was a really good show, but it's a cartoon. Why are you trying to make your comic books look like your cartoons? I mean, an alien invasion hits New York City, and the only one who can stop it is Spider-Man. Really? Alien invasion? You get the guy who is kind of agile and can spin webs. That's like making Doctor Doom fight Daredevil. Daredevil's my favourite superhero, by the way, but I can understand that he's not a powerhouse. He's a guy that he's a guy with heightened senses, and he's kind of good at fighting. Well, he's really good at fighting. He's a really good martial artist. He's a blind guy with heightened senses, and it's like sending him to Latveria to fight Doom and his multiple Doom robots. It's exactly the same as having Spider-Man fight an alien invasion. But that's far from all you'll find here. A revelation from the past puts Peter Parker's job, relationships, and whole life in jeopardy. And if even that's not enough, you'll see a new roommate, new love interest, and a new villain. He was just getting back with Mary Jane. Why does he need a new love interest when the one that he's got is already good enough? Why does Spider-Man... I know he's had loads of love interests in the past, but he's getting back with Mary Jane. It doesn't make any sense if you just say, no, Mary Jane, no, don't like her anymore. Here's someone completely new that we have to build up that hasn't already got 14, 15, 20 years of bloody character development that we just throw in there. Or is this person a new love interest for another character, or are they turning Spider-Man gay? Not that I have a problem with being gay, but it's typical Marvel, isn't it? New love interests. The next thing you're gonna see is Spider-Man and Bobby Drake having a bath together. Just, I'm gonna stop there before I dig myself a hole deeper. Anyway, Spider-Man goes back to basics courtesy of Nick Spencer and the Marvel debut of Ryan Ottley from Invincible. I don't like the art. I don't like Nick Spencer, and I don't like the fact that he's got a new love interest. Also, didn't he just go from Mockingbird to Mary Jane again? And they kind of didn't wrap up the Mockingbird thing at all. But who knows, that's not really important. But yeah, you see what I mean? Look at how he's drawn Rocket Raccoon. It's just, ugh. I don't like it. The Life of Captain Marvel, issue 1 of 5. I don't really care about this. I'm not going to be reading it. But, if you like Captain Marvel, if she floats your boat, then, do whatever you want. Carol Danvers was just a girl from Boston, from the Boston suburbs, who loved science and the Red Sox. Until a chance encounter with a Kree hero gave her incredible superpowers. Now she's a leader in the Avengers and the commander of Alpha Flight. So she leads 2 teams. It's a bit overkill. Just a bit overkill. But what if there were more to the story? When crippling anxiety attacks put her on the sidelines in the middle of a fight, Carol finds herself reliving memories of a life she thought was far behind her. You can't outrun where you've come from, or where you're from, and sometimes you have to go home again. But there are skeletons in Captain Marvel's closet, and what she discovers will change her entire world. Written by best-selling author Margaret Stohl, and drawn by Marvel Comics veteran, and fan-favourite comics veteran, Carlos Pacheco. This is the true origin of Captain Marvel. Well, I don't like the fact that you're giving her crippling anxiety attacks, seeming as that hasn't really been a character trait that Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel has had before. So, doesn't really make sense. Cosmic Ghost Rider number 1 of 5. Yeah, I don't really care about Cosmic Ghost Rider, because, the whole idea of Cosmic Ghost Rider being Frank Castle with the spirit of vengeance and the power cosmic just seems a bit like overkill to me. And it's Donny Cates, so it's probably going to be good, but I didn't read Thanos, so I'm not going to understand it. I'm going to be lost. So, Frank Castle was the Punisher. Deal with the Devil made him Ghost Rider, A deal with Galactus made him cosmic. A deal with Thanos made him dead. Not to worry, he's coming back, and he's got a plan to make the universe a better place that's going to lead him into an even crazier adventure than he's ever been in. Join hot new comic and cosmic writer Donny Cates from Thanos and Doctor Strange, and even more recently, Venom, which, as Yellow Flash said, is a book that needs to be served with a beer and a steak. It is just so good. As he pushes his wildest creation past the breaking point. X-23 issue 1 and issue 2. Cloned from a warrior, raised as a killer, Laura Kinney has gone through hell and come out the other side a hero. After a stint as the all-new Wolverine, she returns to her roots as X-23 to make sure no one ever has to go through the horror she did. With her sister Gabby and their pet Jonathan in tow, X-23 forges her own destiny in this new series by Marika Tamaki from the horrible Hulk run and Hunt for Wolverine Claws of the Killer, which is the only one that I didn't read or haven't read. And Juan Cabal, All New Wolverine and Elektra. I'm going to give it a pass. I don't really care. Death of the Inhumans, also by Donny Cates. The Kree have gone murdering, leaving behind a message: join or die. Thousands of Inhumans have already made their choice. The evidence floats bleeding in space. Black Bolt and his family are next. Rising star Donny Cates and Punisher War Journal artist Ariel Olivetti bring their brutal talents to the Inhumans. I don't really care about Inhumans, so I'm going to give it a pass. Wakanda Forever X-Men issue 1. I heard that the first issue of this was good. The Amazing Spider-Man 1. I unfortunately missed it, so I won't be reading this one. Former Dora Milaje member and eternal troublemaker Nakia, aka Malice, has set a trap to lure the Black Panther into her obsessive clutches. Step 1, take out the Panther's one true love, Storm of the X-Men. But Nakia didn't count on the interference of her former warriors in arms, the fierce Dora Milaje, and they're hot on her trail. Can Okoye, Ao, and Anika capture Malice before she wreaks havoc on their king's life again? The talented Ray Anthony Height joins best-selling author Nnedi Okorafor for the second installment of Wakanda Forever. Okay. And then we have Infinity Countdown, issue 5 of 5. I haven't been reading this. I've heard it's been terrible. Apparently, a pregnant Nova Corps member went into the middle of battle and gave birth in the middle of the fight. Yeah. No. The battle for Infinity amongst the stars comes to its dramatic conclusion, and all the stones are in place to bring the Infinity Wards to Earth. Infinity Countdown Champions, issue 2 of 2. Haven't been reading this either. Champions of the Chitauri. Nova and the Champions fighting for Thanos. Strange allies abound, and sacrifices will be made. One of these young heroes is about to lose everything. Infinity Countdown Darkhawk, number 4 of 4. In the wake of a disastrous run-in with the more dangerous than ever fraternity of Raptors, Chris faces the fear that he may never make it home from space, but even as his foe's might grows, Darkhawk will discover that his lowest point has brought him incredible new power. Looks interesting, but I haven't been reading it, so won't jump in on issue 4 of 4. Hunt for Wolverine, Adamantium Agenda, issue 3 of 4. You know what I thought of the last issue. It was absolute garbage, but I'm going to stick with it because, you know, it's a 4-issue miniseries and it's bringing back Wolverine with a new power, which doesn't make any sense. Apparently his claws come out and they can heat up. Why does he need that? Isn't he already overpowered and you're making him even more overpowered? And what's the point? And also an interesting thing to point out, when his claws like come out and they heat up, does his entire skeleton heat up? Or is it just his claws? Because it would make sense if his entire skeleton heated up and he can only use it for a limited amount of time. Kind of like Feral Rage, where he only uses it at like the like direst of situations where he's almost dying, he's almost going to get stabbed in the chest, and then he goes ultra feral, kind of like Hulk when he goes Worldbreaker. And so I think they can kind of do some interesting stuff with that. They can treat it like Worldbreaker Hulk, and they can treat it like Feral Rage, kind of, and they can bring back like Feral Wolverine, like whenever his claws heat up, he can become literally like a feral beast. But you know, Marvel's not going to listen to me. They're not going to listen to a guy with 43 subscribers. They don't even listen to people with 1 million subscribers. Or me. What am I going to do? Nothing. Has Sinister unlocked the secrets of Logan's genes? Probably. The hunt for Wolverine has led his new Avengers teammates into the mysteries of the genetic codes of the heroes of the Marvel Universe, and where there's superpowered genes, you know Mr. Sinister is involved. Then Hunt for Wolverine, Claws of a Killer, the only one that I'm not reading, because it's the only one that I'm not interested in. Alive or Undead. On the trail of the returned Logan, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, and Daken have run straight into a horde of flesh-eating zombies. But what do these poor resurrected creatures have to do with Logan's return? Probably nothing. Or probably everything. Either or. Madripoor's secrets are worth killing for. And if Kitty Pryde fails to uncover them, another X-Man will die. Has Domino's luck finally run out? And what is the Sotoira Project? Hunt for Wolverine Weapon Lost, issue 3 of 4. This was meh. It's the middle one now. It's okay. It's simply okay. Fresh blood in the wilds of Canada. Deep in Logan's home country, Daredevil and his investigative team have tracked the most recent reports of his appearances straight to the tips of his still bloody claws. Avengers number 4. Unfortunately, I missed out on this, so I might try and pick up the back issues and pick it up, because I'm not that far behind. I'm only 3 issues behind, so you know, I can get caught up with this, but I think I've got enough of my pull list at the moment. But Avengers really needs to be there because it's Avengers, and it seems like this storyline will probably feed into the rest of the Marvel Universe as well. especially the members of the Avengers, which I'm reading most of them. How do the Avengers possibly defeat a crew of 2,000 foot tall, nearly omnipotent Dark Celestials bent on annihilating the human race, while Thor and Hulk search for answers deep within the bowels of Asgardia, or Asgard, because they're not Asgardia anymore, because that's what Tony Stark built, but in the bowels of old Asgard, we learn more about the untold history of Odin and his prehistoric Avengers. Avengers number 5. Behold the wildest, most awe-inspiring team of Avengers ever assembled. But will it be enough to defeat the combined powers of Loki and the final host of Dark Celestials? And what is the startling secret of the Progenitor? Progenitor? Champions number 22. I've heard this is terrible. From everyone, even Comic Historian, who seems to love everything. But Champions number 22, if you care about it. The Champions mission in space in Infinity Countdown has left its mark, and the team tries to move on. A chance to bring life back to the desolate village might be just what life back to a desolate village might be just what they need, or push them even further apart. Thor number 3. I feel like the only person that actually enjoyed the first issue. But anyway, Unholy Matrimony. War rages across the land of the dead, and not even the reunion of Thor and his brother with his brother Balder can stop it. Perhaps peace might come from the wedding of the century in Hel, with Hela, the goddess of death, as the bride. Which Odin's son brother is going to be the lucky groom? And what special surprise guest is looking to put a deadly stop to the nuptials? That's kind of weird, because in the film, in Thor Ragnarok, Hela was Thor's sister. But in the comics, Hela is supposed to be Loki's son, or Loki's daughter. So either way, unless if they've completely wrote themselves out of it, either way it's kind of incestuous and it's kind of weird. It's really weird, actually. If it's Thor marrying his niece, if it's Balder marrying his niece, or if it's Loki marrying his daughter, that's really weird. And if that actually happens in a comic book, I might drop Thor, because that's just crazy. The Immortal Hulk issue 2. A random small town tragedy, mystery illness that spreads with grief, a green glow on a lonely mountain, 3 puzzle pieces that fit together to make a nightmare, and the only mind on Earth that can connect them up belongs to the Immortal Hulk. I really enjoyed the first issue of this. It was really good. I hope the series keeps on this trend of being really good. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first issue. I hope the second issue is great. The Immortal Hulk, issue 3. What happened in the Church of Mercer Avenue? What made the Lambert boy do what he did? Who is the one below all? And reporter Jackie McGee has 4 eyewitnesses, and with 4 different viewpoints, telling 4 different stories. But they all saw Bruce Banner and the Immortal Hulk. Tony Stark Iron Man number 2. I really enjoyed the first issue of this. I hope they keep with the manga-esque aesthetic, and I hope they keep with it being this out of this world man who has everything apart from superpowers. But I like how Dan Slott has already shown how it is that Iron Man can keep up with all these superpowered friends that he has. Tony has been holding back an enormous secret since his return, and there's only one person on Earth he'd trust with it: James Rhodes. This will change everything. A strange new development for Jocasta, the return of the Gauntlet, and the arrival of Tony Stark's new rival. The arrival of Tony Stark's new rival. Interesting sentence. Sunset Bane. Of course his surname's Bane. All this and the power of the Manticore, the most powerful assault vehicle in the Marvel Universe. Quicksilver No Surrender, issue 3 of 5. Quicksilver continues his fight for survival. At the edge of reality. And now he must protect his sister, the Scarlet Witch, from forces she can't even perceive. Trapped, exhausted, and facing an enemy who renders his super speed useless, Pietro will have to use every trick in his arsenal to save Wanda, but he's running out of tricks. Witness a deep dive into one of the most powerful and tumultuous relationships in the Marvel Universe. Okay. Haven't been reading that one, but you know, I never really cared. Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 307. Again, not reading it. The Vidomi invaded Earth back in issue 300, leading Spider-Man on a journey through the past and future to try and defeat them. Did it work? Find out here in the stunning conclusion of the first year of Chip Zdarsky and Adam Kubert's run on Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider, issue 21. For months, an occult group called the Diogenes Initiative has been resurrecting heroes and letting them run amok in Ben Reilly's town. As the Scarlet Spider, he may have a thing or two to say about that. In this issue, Ben gets one step closer to a miracle cure for young Abigail Mercury, and with it, one step closer to a fight to the death with his brother Kane. Spider-Gwen, issue 24. Into issue 34. The trial of Spider-Woman concludes. For months, Gwen Stacy has been fighting the world as Spider-Woman. Now her mask is off, and she's got to face the music as Gwen Stacy. Venom number 4. This is the one that I've really been enjoying. It's probably the best thing coming out of Marvel Fresh Start. Venom issue 4. An ancient Clintar has awakened on Earth, and with it, something has stirred in Eddie Brock's symbiote. Or, as the movie likes to call it, symbiote. Which is wrong. Get it right. Please. And while Venom would never do anything to hurt Eddie or an innocent person, the ancient symbiote has no such qualms. The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Renew Your Vows? Renew Your Vows? Renew Your Vows. Issue 21. Is this the start of Annie Parker's own clone saga? Oh, please no. And can Peter and Mary Jane save her from herself? Oh dear. Spider-Man, Deadpool, issue 35 and 36. The Master Matrix has been unearthed, as well as the secrets of S.H.I.E.L.D's LMD program. At the heart of the program were Mary and Richard Parker, aka the Amazing Spider Parents. And when you thought you could trust that two people were without blemish, Deadpool somehow ruins them too. Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and the Human Torch. Issue 8. A new life in the new town on a strange world. A new life in a new town on a strange world. Everything has changed for the broken people, once known as Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm. But can they repair things before one of their oldest villains puts the nail in the coffin for the Fantastic Four? Daredevil issue 605. Wilson Fisk is back on his feet after a deadly ambush by the Hand, and he's none too happy to see Matt Murdock sitting at his desk. Ballots aren't the only things getting punched in this mayoral bout, true believers. The Sentry issue 2. Someone or something has invaded Sentry World, and now Bob Reynolds finds himself in a race against the clock to try and stop the mystery invader before he can unravel everything the Sentry has worked so hard to build. But if Bob fails, the Void will be set free, and the Marvel Universe will be torn apart. Can the Sentry save the day, or has Bob failed once again to contain the monster within? Black Panther issue 3. The rebels make their move on the verge of liberating the Nameless. T'Challa, M'Baku, and Nakia hunt for a mysterious artifact that promises to turn the tide. What is the M'Kraan Shard? What will T'Challa find? And will T'Challa find its acquisition worth the cost? Moon Knight issue 197. A group of psychopathic killers gather for a feast, but there's more on the menu than delectable dishes. Who is the mysterious figure who has gathered these villains, and to what end? Will Moon Knight make it in time to dish out their just desserts, or will he become the main course? Old Man Hawkeye issue 7. Hawkeye's been on a mission to hunt down the Thunderbolts that betrayed him. Now see exactly what happens on that fateful day 45 years ago in all of its bloody detail. This issue, everybody dies. Well, that's dark. Doctor Strange issue 3. When Earth's magic dried up for him, Doctor Strange looked to the stars. He expected to find alien sorcerers and magical artifacts, not one of the Infinity Stones. The Super Skrull has the Time Stone, and Doctor Strange can't let him keep it. The Punisher issue 227. The Punisher and Black Widow go off the grid on a secret mission of revenge. Frank and Natasha are now most wanted by heroes and villains alike. The War Machine armor is busted, and with the forces coming down on our heroes, they're going to need every bit of firepower they can get. It's all come down to the Punisher issue 228. This is going to be a long one, guys, because I've still got quite a bit to do, and it's been 40 minutes. You should have made this a two-parter, but I won't. So, hope you got some popcorn. It's all come down to this. Frank's used the War Machine armor to cross lines from which he can never come back. Some people have taken Frank's actions personally. One of those people is Tony Stark. Suit up. It's the fight you've been waiting to see. Runaways issue 11. Just got to say, Runaways the TV show is so good. It is amazing. Like, the CG could do a bit of work, especially on the Rainbow Lady. I forget her name, But, you know, Gert's Velociraptor looks amazing. But, you know, the Rainbow Lady could use some work, especially since she's the main character. But yeah, the show's amazing. I haven't been reading the comics though. Having purple hair used to be an act of rebellion, but now Gert is just one of many. Which doesn't sit well with Miss York's. And she's not the only one wrestling with who they are and what they want, as Nico, Chase, Carolina, and Victor all wrestle with their own identity crises. Is this DC? Why does everyone need a crisis now? Like, I've been playing a lot of Injustice 2, and I like how they call the multiverse. They have this thing called the multiverse, and like they call like the fights that you have there crises. It's like a little nod that every year, like, DC has a different crises, like Infinite Crisis, Heroes in Crisis is the newest one, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Identity Crisis. Like, what's next? The Crisis at McDonald's? Like, what? Like, seriously. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl issue 34, and that is a lot of text for Squirrel Girl, so I'm not going to read it. Ant-Man and the Wasp issue 3. Okay, I don't care about Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm going to watch the film, I'm going to review the film. The film is a different story. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, the comic, don't care. Just don't care. You want to have a young Nadia Pym, you want to bring her back, and she's got the exact same origin as Black Widow, and, you know, just, I don't want any of that. I don't want a young person who speaks, I don't want a Russian who speaks like an old times British person from Downton Abbey. I don't want that. I want to read a fun comic book, not a Russian person with a really dark backstory learnt their English from Downton Abbey. The Wasp and Ant-Man are trapped in the microverse, which sucks for them. Know who it's even worse for? The even more tiny people our heroes can't help but threatened by their very own existence. Miss Marvel issue 32. Kamala and Bruno are learning how to be friends again, and what better a bonding experience than geeking out over a little science? Everyone has to have something to do with science, even Punisher. Like, the only person who doesn't have anything to do with science at the moment, it seems to be Daredevil. But even then, they've just had a gas attack over the whole of Hell's Kitchen. So I guess, but he's not one of these people that's in love with the science, who loves the science or loves the science, whatever. And what better scientific pursuit than trying to discover how Miss Marvel's powers work? And what better time for absolute calamity to break out in Jersey City and upend the whole thing? A brand new jumping on point for the superheroics of Miss Marvel starts here. I would if I cared about Miss Marvel. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur issue 33. Save Our School Part 2. Nanella Lafayette is the smartest person in the Marvel Universe. So why can't she unravel the genetic mystery that keeps swapping her brain with a 40-foot tall terrible lizard? she's going to need to pull off her biggest science experiment yet to undo the curse. All without getting caught by her parents and teachers, of course. Plus the tragic past of Princess Fisk. Hey. Right. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm just going to say the name of the title now. I'm just going to say the title. I'm not going to do the read up, because this is going to take way too long otherwise. So we got Marvel Rising, Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel issue 1, Multiple Man issue 2 of 5, X Classified issue 1, Exiles number 5, X-Men Gold number 31, X-Men Gold number 32, Astonishing X-Men issue 13, Cable issue 159, New Mutants Dead Souls issue 5, X-Men Blue issue 31, X-Men Blue issue 32, Weapon X issue 30, Old Man Logan issue 43, Old Man Logan issue 34, issue 43 and 44, Weapon H issue 5, X-Men Red issue 6. Oh yeah, X-Men Red was that one series where Nightcrawler's eating the hot dog, and this hurts me specifically because Nightcrawler is my favorite. It's my favorite member of the X-Men, but Nightcrawler just eating a hot dog, and he's like, tastes of mustard and bigotry. Which is tastes of mustard and bigotry. That's 2018 Marvel for you. 2018 Marvel also tastes of mustard and bigotry now that you think of it. Deadpool Assassin issue 3, Domino issue 4, Deadpool issue 2, Star Wars issue 50, and congratulations Star Wars the comic by Marvel, because you're actually better than the films, which actually, you know what, now that I think about it, Star Wars needs to be in the MCU. Like, put Star Wars in the MCU now, because Marvel's writing the comics, so technically Star Wars is a Marvel property now, so just let Marvel Studios work on the Star Wars movies now. Just reboot the whole thing and have Marvel Studios work on Star Wars movies, or not reboot the whole thing, but make Star Wars, have the next Star Wars movies be made by Marvel Studios, because then they might actually be good, and not Last Jedi, which was offensive to everyone who watched it. Even if you enjoyed it, you've got to think. So they killed off all the other legacy characters apart from the one who's played by an actress who's already dead. They must not have known that she was ill during the filming of that film. Otherwise they would have rewritten the script to... I don't understand why Leia's still alive at the end of it. And I don't understand why at the end they put, this film was made in tribute to Carrie Fisher. Like, that's got to be the most insulting thing ever, to have a terror... It's like if I died, if I got shot dead tomorrow in like the middle of the street, or if I got stabbed to death in the middle of the street, and then they re-roll my my music video in the cinema, and then they put at the end, this was made in tribute of Luke Warner. Like, that would be the most offensive thing ever. Like, seriously. Star Wars issue 51. Star Wars Lando Double or Nothing issue 3 of 5. Darth Vader Annual, number 2. Darth Vader issue 18. Star Wars Poe Dameron number 26. How have you managed to milk out almost 30 issues of Poe Dameron? Like, seriously, he's not an interesting character. It's Poe Dameron. It's just Oscar Isaac going, oh, why don't you tell us your plan already? Oh, I've got to be the hero. Just stop. It's just Oscar Isaac just saying, we need to be the spark to light the fire, to burn the First Order down. Just for the whole comic. Just, that was probably the coolest line out of the entire film. Like that, and like, am I the only person that thinks that Kylo Ren is the best thing about that film? Because not only is he a badass that takes on like almost all of the Red Guards and kills Snoke, like he also has the most badass line in cinema history, which is just, let the past die, kill it if you have to. Yeah. Oh, if only I was making movie reviews back then. Then I would have just went into that movie like no one's business. I need to watch it again and just make a review for it. Even just saying that I need to just make a review of it. Star Wars Dr. Aphra number 22. Star Wars Thrawn issue 6 of 6, and Star Wars The Last Jedi adaptation number 4 of 6, and the rest is kid stuff. So there you go. I'm not going to waste any more of your time because I've already wasted almost an hour of it. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Those are all of the books coming out in the month of July 2018. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, tell me what I can do better, maybe like shorten it down a bit, and subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff helps me out a lot. Also, quick plug, my Instagram. You can please check out my Instagram to see closer up images of all of the comic books that I buy and review on this channel. Till then, this is Luke Warner signing off. Peace.